You are being detained under Section 3 of the Mental Health Act for treatment for your mental illness in a psychiatric hospital. I suppose the treatment was the hours and hours of restraints. I suppose the treatment was being forcibly injected with sedatives instead of allowing me to calm down myself. I suppose the treatment was being stripped of my clothing and blankets and then being watched by 2 male staff members an arm's reach away from me. I suppose the treatment was being restrained as soon as I began crying or shaking instead of verbally de-escalating me. I suppose the treatment was being dragged down corridors, being pinned to the bed, being shouted at to calm down, and being physically manipulated in ways that made me cry out in pain. I suppose that was how I was supposed to get better. I was 14 when I was first detained under the Mental Health Act and admitted to an adolescent psychiatric ward. Over the next 3 years, I was detained many more times under different sections of the Act. Those detentions saved my life on many occasions, but they also destroyed my life in ways which I did not know were possible. I remember thinking to myself, what is the point in being sectioned and kept alive when I have been left more unwell and more traumatized than before? A law made to outline and uphold the rights of some of the most vulnerable members of our society was also a law that allowed for such degradation of a teenage girl struggling with her mental health. Instead of being used to support, safeguard, and ensure the necessary treatment was in place for me, the Mental Health Act was used as a lazy excuse and getaway clause for excessive restrictive practice and inadequate care. You're sectioned, you don't have a say, or there's no point in arguing, you don't have a choice, were common phrases spoken in the walls of the wards. My voice was void once the section paperwork was signed. It will be incorrect to claim my time on adolescent psychiatric wards was entirely negative. In every admission, there were staff members that did their best to support me and made the experiences more bearable. But their care, kindness, and dedication often felt so foreign on the ward. The systems around them were not ones of care and compassion, so a good staff member always stuck out. There was only so much they could do to make things better. When the foundations of a system are broken, it's a losing battle being fought. Society has become too comfortable with the state of mental health care in our country. They are reassured knowing that people aren't being locked up in asylums and chained to beds or tied up in straitjackets. They claim to care about those with mental illnesses, but they cannot claim to care if they are continuing to sit back and watch such brutal and dehumanizing acts unfold under the name of treatment. They cannot claim to care when they are comfortable knowing that hospitals are re-traumatizing people, often leading to multiple or prolonged admissions. They cannot claim to care when they are watching people be silenced and disempowered by a system that is supposed to instill hope and support recovery.